Hey, yo, it's your boys, NeekCinco, and your boy.
E-Money, what's good, y'all?
And it's NEOWrestling. We're back with you for another episode. This is episode 7, where we're just basically talking about good old wrestling stuff. You know, the stuff that we love to watch on TV and complain about because creative is just really fucking weird sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh boy.
Yeah, see that's enough right there, right, guys? Ooh boy. But so if you guys have been watching or keeping up with us, anybody who's been checking out the TikToks, the Instagrams, anything, we appreciate you guys. And you know, like always, join the discussion, like, share, all that stuff. We want to know what you guys think on top of this, because yeah, we're reviewing stuff, but realistically, whether it's NEO wrestling, NEO hip hop, or just NEO the pod, we are more here to be opening up discussions and engaging in discussions, as long as you know it's not like getting crazy or like people arguing and stuff like that. So thanks for being with us, and I hope you enjoy the topics. Today we are going over the past week in wrestling, because it's not been the most bombastic, but you know, with Clash of Paris coming up and the last week being somewhat interesting with a lot of things that are probably some eyebrow raisers and stuff like that, we just wanted to get another episode out there. And you know, at the end, try to go over our predictions real quick for Clash in Paris before we start putting out those TikTok posts and stuff like that I like to put out. So without further ado, let's just roll into it. I think real quick, something not WWE related is, I just want to give our 2 cents on the Psycho Stu situation. More, I want to give my 2 cents on it because I know you said you didn't really follow it too much. Did you want me to give a slight breakdown so you can kind of get a little more familiar with what actually happened from point A to B?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Break it down.
So to give you guys like the clip notes, Quentin Rampage Jackson's son Raja, who is training in MMA. I don't know what his career is looking like. Not, let me say, before this situation, because he's slightly older. He's in his 20s, I think mid-20s now. So I don't know if a MMA UFC career is in his path, especially after the events that it has unfolded. But we'll just say he trains in MMA. He was at a Knox Pro, I think it's called, event, which is a WWE ID affiliate, which is like the independent companies that basically are the fast track to WWE in a sense. This is actually the school that is under Rikishi, from what I understand. One of the four entities that have the WWE ID label slapped on them, which after this event, they did lose their WWE ID. So they did lose that, honestly, in the midst of all this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Raja was invited. He got into an interaction, a dispute with Psycho Stu, who is a wrestler there who I'm not familiar with like that. And Raja is a kick streamer. So, you know, those guys nowadays, streamers don't know how to go anywhere without a camera, without bringing the hoorah with them. So Psycho Stu, from what I understand, thinks that this is like part of the show. So backstage, when he's first meeting him, like an hour before the big event happens, the big drama happens, they have an interaction, and I guess Raja said something about wrestling being fake, where they got into a little dispute, and my man grabbed a can, Psycho Stu grabbed a can and bopped him over the head. So I would like to preface this. This is not a justification at all, but earlier, like maybe a week or two prior, Raja was sparring, and this is a whole video on the internet also, where the guy he was sparring with roundhouse kicked him. And from what I understand, that's not a normal thing to do. He got a little too aggressive during a sparring contest, and he kicked him in the head, and he was diagnosed with like concussion symptoms from that situation.
Okay.
So I do believe that this somewhat plays into the scenario a little bit, but not enough to okay this stuff. He cracks the can over on his head, like some backstage gimmicky stuff, and Raja did not take well to that. So a couple minutes go by, and while they're disputing and stuff like that, going at each other, they get it to calm down. And Psycho Stu, he even asked him, like, "You're not gonna sell this?" And basically they explain to him, this is not a work, like this is not part of the show or anything like that. And they end up planning to let Raja get his lick back. You know, as wrestlers say, sometimes if somebody catches you with a stiff one, you catch one back, just to let them know, here's my receipt, chill out a little bit. So they basically worked it out to where he was able to do that. So Psycho Stu apologizes. Raja accepts the apology. and they allow him to jump in and interfere in his match later on. There's another guy involved named AJ Mana, I think his name is, who also lost his job in this situation because of his involvement, because he basically told Raja to get his receipt. And I don't believe he intended for him to do what he did when he said this, but he kind of, threw wood in the fire, gas on the fire. And when I seen his reaction to his firing on TikTok, I totally became fine with what happened. Like, yeah, you're bugging the fuck out. Maybe you did deserve to lose your job. But time goes by, about 40 minutes to an hour, and he's sitting in the stands, Raja, and he's talking to his chat, and he tells them that he was told he can jump in and slam him and get a hit in. But he tells his chat, bro, when I get in there, I'm gonna try to get off as many hits as I can. Basically just tells him, fuck all that shit. I'm getting my lick back. And that's the first part for me that really messes it up, is because that's one, like, premeditated, and two, you accepted this dude's apology and you still were in your feelings. And I'm pretty sure his Kickstream chat was getting under his skin and caused a lot of this anger and whatever else was going on in his life just all came out here. So he gets in there, slams him. It seems like he's knocked the hell out right there, and he proceeds to catch him with like 20 punches. Like, maybe not all connecting, but enough of them to where the news is that he was choking up on his own blood and teeth throughout this.
Yeah.
And almost died and stuff like that. And people were trying to place blame.
Heard,
people were trying to place blame on everything but Raja. Airheads out there. Most people are just blaming him. And I do feel like there needs to be some kind of repercussions for him. Maybe not jail time, but there needs to be repercussions, like heavier repercussions too. Quentin has apologized. He said he's doing a stream with Psycho Stu when he's able to do one. And realistically, I don't even want to say Raja. Well, it's Rampage doing it, not Raja. Yeah. I kind of figured when you giggled.
You're better than me. You're better than me, man.
I figured when you giggled that that's what you thought was going on.
I'm not piecing up with you on stream after you just feel me now.
Yo, I'm even surprised that he's okay with doing it with his father, because I guess we could be cordial, but I probably wouldn't be hopping on stream with Quentin Rampage Jackson either. But I don't even want to say that Raja is a bad guy, because I understand that a lot has been going on apparently in his life, and Quentin, when you see them in interactions like on their streams and stuff like that, Quentin is a little tough with his kid sometimes. So like a lot of stuff probably just came out, but horrible decision making right here, horrible decision making, and like you can't just go unscathed here, because then you think it's okay, and you think you can get away with this in other scenarios. And that's really it, is that it's an unfortunate scenario. I do feel like repercussions need to happen, and anybody who is trying to defend Raja, you're really just an airhead, bro. And I said it on TikTok when it was all going on, that like the people who are okaying this and trying to place blame on Psycho Stu or anybody else but Raja just blowing up, this is why the world stinks, is because people like you think like that. like you're too busy being prideful human beings who would do ugly things for little to no reason. And fix your mentality. Get right with yourself. All right. And that's all I have to say about this situation at the end of the day. Any 2 cents from you about this Raja situation before we move on to the WWE stuff?
No, I mean, I had seen like a like bit of the like points that you just shared there, but not like too much of it. Obviously, I'm glad to hear now that it seems like the guy that got attacked is doing okay now, which like people weren't sure was going to be the case right away. This just like is another point for me of like thinking about how different things are, where we're like in a like society now where like everything is on camera and everything is online, like and just how that like heightens things in a situation like this. Like if he didn't feel it like so embarrassed because like it wasn't on stream, then maybe it goes a different way. Maybe it doesn't, but that's just how
this is today's world.
How things are now.
I use the term a lot, and this is one of the negative sides of the do it for the content era that we're in. So unfortunate situation. I hope he gets right in his head and comes to terms and can work on himself. So we'll move on from that, and we'll get back into the WWE stuff. We'll start with Sunday. WWE NXT Heatwave. Now, we don't talk about a lot of Heatwave stuff, but the reason why I wanted to talk about this is mainly for two events. I don't even want to dive into the full card. There's just two things that happen that I am just so confused by, because what are we doing with these people?
All right.
The first one is Blake Monroe defeating Jordan Grace. I feel like WWE, ever since the TNA partnership thing, has been just little broing the shit out of anything TNA related.
Yeah.
Jordan Grace looked so good prior to joining WWE, coming out during the Royal Rumble. Teases of NXT when she was just popping up on NXT as the Knockouts champion, I think she was.
She had two championship matches with Roxy while she was still TNA champion.
Looking strong and stuff like that. She had some decent moments when she first got there, but they're like moments where like she's teaming up like Soruka, Zarya, and stuff like that to face Fatal Attraction and Roxanne and Cora Jade when she was still around. And outside of that, anything else that's a big moment for Jordan Grace, they're just making her lose. And it kind of makes me feel weird because I enjoy Jordan Grace. And it's like, can you really even consider moving her up to the main roster when you have her looking so bad? Like, so what's the plans? I have no clue. So that's really all I got there. I don't even want to go into super detail on Jordan Grace because that's all I got is really like, what are you doing with her?
I think for me, I understand what like all that they've done like between her and Blake, because now in this situation like Blake is the like newer person like that they're trying to make look good. I do agree that a lot of their choices since Jordan like officially jumped over has lessened my personal excitement about her, because you like bring her in and there's an expectation that she's at this level where she's like right away in the like main event like championship scene. Like a lot of the conversation even before she officially signed was like, was she just gonna go to the main roster right away? Like I was having real thoughts of like, oh, like what does the like Rhea Ripley versus Jordan Grace feud look like before she signed. So to have her come into NXT like with the like timing of when it all happened, it's like, like all right, I understand that because it was she officially signed, I think, right before the Royal Rumble. So it's like, all right, like you like have all of your like plans for going
And
into
this is like her second Royal Rumble appearance, I think, right?
yeah, so it's like you like have all of your plans ready for the main roster in that are set going into Mania, so that's fine if you're just gonna let her like take some time to get used to being in WWE and then bringing her up after WrestleMania. But then you had her lose, and then she lost, and then she lost, and and she's been having good matches, but my like obviously everything about WWE isn't like the actual wins and losses. I don't feel differently about her as a prospect and as a talent. I think she's just as ready today to go up to the main roster as she was before. But as you're trying to build a star and build excitement, a lot of the choices that you've made with having her continue to lose these matches does impact that for me. So I don't necessarily think that they've done anything wrong, in my opinion, with her feud with Blake so far. But I think that she probably should have won one or two of those like championship matches before when she was facing Roxy or her match with Steph. Not to like completely like sidetrack it, but um, Jordan versus Stephanie actually was one of my favorite matches of this year. Um, and Stephanie was about to go up. Like Stephanie went up like right after that. So like
You could have
I
made her a
understand.
transitional champion just to help, just to give her a little bit of points, right?
Yeah, like I like understand the like shock moment of having JC Jane come out of nowhere and win, and that is a great moment. But now I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, like I I don't really I don't really love the JC Jane run anyways, but like
I do though. I like
you
JC Jane.
you you chose that instead of giving it to Jordan. Like that doesn't, and that's
I
like
see JC Jane
I
moving up before a lot of people, including Jordan Grace at this very moment. But that's only if WWE ends up needing more heels on the main roster. That would be the way I see JC Jane, because there's really no need for JC Jane on the main roster at this moment, especially not the heel JC Jane. And I don't see JC Jane being a face at any point. So, closest she got was her Chase U days. And to speak on Jordan real quick, it's weird because it's deflating. Like, I still like Jordan Grace. It's just deflating for her momentum to have this happen over and over again. And she's already just lost in the shuffle, it feels like, because she's a part of that pack of Stephanie, Julia, Zarya, all coming in at the same time. And these guys are getting better things than she is right now. Like, she's in feuds that are interesting, but she's not the winner in anything right now. And like you said, I'm not mad at the Blake Monroe stuff. It's just that the Blake Monroe stuff comes in a long line of disappointing outcomes for Jordan Grace.
After she lost to Steph and after she lost to Roxy
and all these things. Like, she's winning matches that like don't matter, I guess. Like, and I can't even recall a win. I can't even really recall a Jordan Grace win because that's almost how infrequently it happens. But I also had like a month where I was not watching NXT like at all. So I could have missed like 3-4 matches right there where she did win. So, but that's how I feel about it. Any more on it? Because
no.
I don't know how you handle Jordan Grace. I don't know if this is like she just finds a storyline where she can move up and it's just natural because of the storyline and she doesn't need to win anything there. Because some wrestlers really don't need to hold those titles in NXT to go ahead and be successful in the main roster. But for a lot of wrestlers, it just looks good when you start getting put next to those main roster people that you were somebody in NXT. So, especially if they're not familiar with TNA Jordan Grace.
True.
And then the other situation from Heatwave that really had me blown is when the fuck is Obafemi moving up, bro? Like, cause I felt like this was the moment. I felt like this should have been Javon's moment, and it should have been the time that we're like, okay, cool, Obafemi's on his way. Like, he'll be in NXT for a little bit, and he can go on up in like a couple months. But no, here we are, Obafemi, still your NXT champion. You can go ahead.
I definitely thought that there was a real chance that Javon was going to win there. I would have been totally happy if Javon won, but also I'm totally fine with Oba staying right where he is. I feel so protective over Oba, and I swear to God, if they don't do right by when they move Oba up, if they don't do right by him, like that's gonna be one for me that like I'm not gonna be able to recover from.
So a lot of people are talking about how Carmelo Hayes is being treated, and that is the one thing that I don't want for Obafemi, is for him to go up and just have a weird transition into the WWE main roster, which I feel like he's too big of a powerhouse for that to happen. Like, how do you deny that?
You would think, but I don't want to go too deep into the Triple H's booking of black male wrestlers, but
so I'm happy you brought that up. I'm actually ecstatic you brought that up, because I look at the main event picture and I'm asking, I really want to know, who the fuck do you want in that picture? Montez Ford is cool, but like when I think of people like Roman Reigns and stuff like that, I just don't see it yet. I don't see the Seth Rollins. I don't see the Cody Rhodes. I don't see the Drew McIntyres. And I do want to touch on this more later on, because I do have the Street Profits as something I want to talk about from today's show. But and this is not even just about Montez Ford. Like Carmelo Hayes, I could see him in the mid card, but I want to see this blow up of him in the Miz. So I'm cool with where he is at right now. Yeah, he was off of TV on and off for a while, but I'm like, there's so much going on in the WWE for them to handle all these guys at the same time, and their main and their storylines are basically packed. What else are they going to throw in there that is going to keep you intrigued? I don't know. So I do believe that these guys should be getting more opportunities, but I also understand that it's hard to give everybody a slice of the pie at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think I think that there's a nuance in this conversation that I don't think that we want to take the time to fully dive into right now. I agree that I don't think that there's a guy on the main roster right now like that's like an obvious like main event talent on the men's side like that like unjustly isn't there. But it's just like, you know, uh some of the choices of the like stories that they are given versus like other people, like it it feels like they probably could have handled the like Carmelo transition with a bit more care. I think with him
He had a
in
banger feud with
particular,
Andrade. He had good matches with LA Knight. Like, I don't think he's being mistreated. It's just there's not enough to go around.
yeah, I think I think some of the hardcore fans like obviously have a really strong attachment to him, like because of his NXT run. And I also think there's a reality in WWE, which is a Vince thing, sorry, is that like people wrestlers that are that small, like WWE, and now the like fans that like I even think of it in the way that I think about wrestlers, because I've grown up watching this for so long, that I see somebody like Carmelo Hayes and I say, oh, that guy's really talented and he's great. And I don't like, I kind of have to squint kind of hard to see him, like, is he a main eventer though? Like, so like I think it's that too.
Because I like these guys. I like these guys, but I just don't know how they compete with like the top guys in the mid card and the top guys in the
Yeah.
main event card. I don't know how they are. Like, you could force them to be over, but
Yeah.
then you're forcing it to happen. And I don't necessarily feel like there's people in the main card and people in the mid card who are getting forced. Yes, but these guys have been around and paid their dues also. Like, these guys have been around. Like, because I actually thought about this the other day because it's been a topic lately, and I'm like, if you really look at the black wrestlers on the main roster, it's not that they're not getting opportunities; they're just not knocking it out the park. Because when I look at the list, I even had to look up the list and write them down. I was like, if you look at it,
Yeah.
the people who have not done anything recently are Carmelo, R-Truth, Bianca, and B-Fab. Those are the people that I can name that have done absolutely nothing recently. And Bianca's still been in good matches and feuds and stuff like that. She's just not winning belts. And actually, she was the tag team belt holder not even a full year ago. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods.
Do you mean just like over the past year? Because
Jade
Bianca's
Cargill.
been hurt like all summer.
Yeah, but I'm saying she was just the tag team champion not too long ago with Jade Cargill twice. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. They got a heel turn and nobody's really digging it, but they got a belt opportunity. And we were even saying, why are these motherfuckers at WrestleMania? We were questioning this. Everybody was questioning that. Naomi, excellent heel turn, was just your women's champion, is only not there anymore because she's pregnant. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, they made the SmackDown tag team division thrive along with people like DIY and Pretty Deadly and stuff like that, and they were the champions recently. Jade Cargill is your reigning queen of the ring. So it's not that they're not getting opportunities, it's just people want to see them on the mountaintop, and it's like they're just not there yet. Like, somebody said, I forget what it was, the conversation about Jade. It was a TikTok I seen, and they were talking about Roxanne, and they're like, do you guys really think Roxanne's ready for the main event? And with the situation of how like Steph and all these guys are like absent and they're trying to find a new champion, and I'm like, it makes more sense than a Jade Cargill. Like, sorry.
Also, if you're asking that question, that means that and it's fine if you didn't watch, but it means that you didn't watch her NXT championship run. That was awesome. Her NXT championship run was awesome.
And that's the whole thing, is like, I do agree that these guys should have more opportunities, but there's just so many people who are good enough to have these opportunities right now. You can force the issue, but I don't think forcing the issue is good because, like I said, we saw Kofi and Xavier Woods get a WrestleMania match, and everybody groaned. Everybody groaned about that. So we can continue forcing the issue, but you guys are going to continue to groan about it when it happens. but Obafemi. I think we should just go back to
Yes.
that.
Yes.
I enjoyed
Sorry,
the hell
yes,
out of that match. I enjoyed the hell out of that match. But damn, why is Devon not it? And it better be Ricky Saints if they're gonna do this Ricky Saints thing because, bro, I think he's ready. Because to go back to that black thing real quick for 2 seconds. When I look at Trick and I look at Devon and I look at Oba, I'm like, Oba Femi is the only one that I'm confident in that they don't fuck up if they actually care about these wrestlers. Javon Evans is the type of wrestler that like is really good, but like look at Nathan Frazier or Ricochet or Rey Mysterio or stuff like that in his heyday. Like they are cool and like Ray even got the belt at a time. But these quick, fast, high flyers, they're normally not your big picture guy. So Oba Femi is the clear cut like model of like that's the guy we can put the rocket on. Trick, you know how I feel about Trick. Decent in the ring, decent on the mic, but is he good enough to run with the guys who actually are good at both? Like a good mic worker is making Trick Williams look silly in the main roster. He doesn't need to be there. This TNA thing is perfect for him right now. Javon Evans, I just said what I said. So I'm just ready for Oba Femi to get off because I'm not gonna lie, it's a little exhausting to seeing him every week for the past like year. Like I'm kind of at that point where I'm like, move.
I will be ecstatic whenever he does move up. It doesn't seem to me like they're in any rush to move him up. I'm not particularly in a rush to move him up. I want him to move up when they're ready and like have something planned for him to come in and make an immediate impact in a real way.
I think he's good for the mid card already.
I do not want him just going up just to go up. So if that means waiting until like Stand and Deliver next year, fine.
I think he's good enough to be in your mid card discussion no matter what show he's on. Maybe not automatically getting opportunities for the belt, but like work your way up to where he becomes the number one contender like 2-3 months into his time on the main roster, and he'll probably put on a great show with whoever is in the mid card at this point because he doesn't need to be in the main event picture right away. And this is one thing about Oba Femi that I know is really good. He's excellent in multi-man matches. And the mid card has so much going on that there could be so many multi-man matches with him that it just looks good for Oba Femi. So I am personally ready for that belt to come off of Oba Femi, bro. He's been a title holder all his career in NXT, except for like maybe a month and a half worth of time that he's been there. So I feel like he's done all he needs to do in NXT. And because what else is there for him to do there? He's beaten everybody but Ricky Saints. I feel like that matters. So,
and Ricky Saints, you are just another man.
I like Ricky Saints from what I have seen of him on NXT so far. But and that's why if it's not gonna be Javon, then I feel like it should be Ricky Saints. I almost thought we were gonna get a multi-man match out of this. I thought we were gonna get Javon Evans, Oba Femi, Briggs, and Ricky Saints out of this, and we're not. So
I think it should be Javon that takes the title off of him.
That's my preferred option, but I can also be fine with Ricky Saints. But that Javon is my preferred option because I love the young OG because that boy's bouncy. But and see where we talked about I said about the high flyers and like they kind of get phased out in the main roster. They don't in the NXT. Like we just watched Nathan Frazier and Axiom like literally kill a whole entire year on the tag team titles, and they're both just high flyer fast guys. So like NXT is perfect for those kind of guys. So
yeah,
I'm just ready for that to change, and I'm ready for honestly, Oba and Ethan Page can go for me. So that's all I got there for that actually, and that's all I got for Heatwave honestly. Unless you have anything else you want to say about Oba Femi or Javon Evans.
No, and not on either of those, but just because you mentioned Ethan, I did want to say just because it was on that card as well. I know it wasn't the like best match or the like cleanest match, but Ethan and Chelsea, like the work that they've done over the past couple weeks together, I think has been legitimately some of my favorite stuff that I've seen on NXT the entire year. So I that is something in wrestling that I'm loving right now, and I really hope that we get to see it continue. There have been some reports on the timeline about WWE being impressed as well. We never know for sure how true that is. I hope that that's true because I think that that would be an excellent way to have Ethan move up to the main roster.
I rock with Ethan Page, and I love Chelsea Green, and you are correct. I just love how their dynamics work very well in tandem with each other because they very are much similar characters in villainy, and they just happen to both be Canadian, so it just works the hell out.
Yeah.
And to jump forward to tonight, I was mildly disappointed that Chelsea and the Secret Harvest didn't have Ethan Page in sight. I would have loved to have seen him out there on the main roster, just chilling,
Yeah.
like no reason to get involved, just be there. So, I hope they do continue this, and I hope they do find a way to make this the vessel for him coming up, and at least being in the backstage segments or something like that for a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also with that. I do like that tandem. But so on to the next thing. Monday night happens, and we open up the night with our guy, my guy, not so much your guy, Roman Reigns, our tribal chief, and the tribal.
I want him to be my guy, but they be killing me, man. They be killing me.
I know the on and off and his part-time schedule bothers you and stuff like that, but I'll tell you this: the part-time schedule allows his moments to be moments because he's not there a lot. So it's like the Brock Lesnar thing in a sense. Brock Lesnar, when he was the guy, he disappears, he comes back, and people think it's cool, and it works for Roman also a little bit. But I do wish he was there more often.
For me, it's not about the schedule. I'm totally fine with his schedule. It's the way that they book around his schedule, and there's just like they just leave so much on the table from like a storytelling standpoint, and I'm happy to kind of go into this like as we talk about his segment on Raw.
He was all over Raw this episode.
And also, like, yes, and also, doesn't that make you look at the past month and a half that he's been here and be like, what have y'all been doing?
So actually, how I want to break this down for that is what they did with him Monday is what we were seeing when the Bloodline was at the peak of being a Bloodline, like toward the tail's end, but also during the peak of the Bloodline. Is that they were basically like the Judgment Day on SmackDown. You see them 4 times a night, and they're the big names. People want to see Roman Reigns. So I feel like when you can find opportunities to use him like they did Monday, they should definitely take the opportunity and do it. So I'm happy they did it. I'm happy we got to see him multiple times on Monday, and every moment felt good to see him. It wasn't like they're just wasting a moment or something like that. But one of the things that stood out to me was when he mentioned Cody Rhodes, because there's a lot of interesting crowd reactions this week. Well, maybe not a lot, but enough of them for me. Crowd reactions. He mentioned Cody Rhodes, and they booed, and all you hear is Roman go, interesting. And it's kind of funny because it's one of those things that tie back to when Roman had that promo with him when he dropped the belts on. He was like, have you ever won this? Have you ever competed for this? Like, do you even know what to do with this? Because that's like one of those moments where he's like in his head, like, you see? Like, look at them. They ain't even fucking with you right now, my boy. Like, they see me out here and they fucking with me, but they ain't even fucking with you. So I enjoyed that crowd reaction. The whole Bronson Reed when he was like, "Hey, you're Samoan? Like, why ain't nobody tell me? You belong to me." Yeah. I'm like, this is Roman at his highest, realistically, on a mic.
Yeah, I thought he was awesome here.
You belong to me.
I just look at he's been back for like what is it, like 5 or 6 weeks now?
Yeah,
I think he came
about
back
a month, let's say.
like 2 weeks before SummerSlam. So I have no problem with him not being there at all from the end of WrestleMania like up until SummerSlam. That's fine. And then I'm sure that he's
And
gonna
then he
do the like
scattered
similar thing
elsewhere.
that he did last year of after Survivor Series thing. He left Solo Sokoa to die, trying to promote his match for the Ulafala. But whatever.
And now he's
That's
in a
fine.
Shulafala match, man.
You
Like,
can that's fine. You can take your long breaks off, but what is frustrating for me as a fan is so much of not only his stories but like the like stories around the entire company and like and his interactions with the other top people on Raw are either directly tied to him or indirectly tied to him. So we have all this time of months of him not being there, and people have to kind of stay in place because he's not there. So then when he is there, then like, all right, like let's take advantage of the time that we do have here. So Roman, like when you have Roman, like especially for a like longer stretch like this of like 5 or 6 weeks, don't take 4 of the weeks and just have him come out the last 3 minutes and be in a brawl and not cut a promo and not say anything. I've been waiting all summer for you to talk about CM Punk. I've been waiting all summer for you to talk about Paul Heyman that you just spent the last 5 years with. And Paul Heyman had this beautiful promo e- explaining his turn on Roman Reigns and saying, I'm always the bad guy. I'm always the betrayer. He spit absolute fire flames at Jey Uso. Jey Uso didn't have nothing to say the entire time. He was just like, damn, you're right. I wish you would have. I wish you could have said some of that to Roman Reigns, or what did Roman Reigns think about that? I would love to know instead of having you come out the last 3 minutes and only have one segment where you're actually talking to Paul Heyman about your history. Or, oh, my cousin that I spent the last 5 years with just won the World Heavyweight Championship, and it takes you 6 weeks of booking to finally acknowledge that. It's
well,
not.
that's the
It,
arrogance of Roman Reigns. That's why when I
it's
messaged
not.
you that day, I was like, see, this is fine for me because he finally, at least somebody like Roman Reigns, who's an arrogant son of a bitch, acknowledged Jay for growing as a wrestler. You know, growing
My
as a wrestler, technically.
my frustration here isn't with Roman the character at all. It's the choices of
Creatives.
of of how they're choosing to tell or not tell the stories that are literally right in front of them. Um, Also, if if we're gonna have Roman and Jay have this like this actual mending of their relationship, don't you think that that would have been nice to do the 2 weeks before you throw them back in a tag match?
But see, that's where it comes from. The whole point of Roman saying, "Hey, Jay, you're always looking out for everybody else, and you're always trying to help everybody else. You need to stand on your own too and just do for you." Is because that's one of those moments where he just accepted Roman back because I'm just doing for everybody else. So Roman kind of does acknowledge those things, it's just not in a way that you like, and and that's why I'm okay with you not liking it because I remember I texted you and I was like, "Yo, see, he hasn't apologized yet." But him acknowledging the growth and giving him that pep talk to just like, yo, do your own thing. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about CM Punk. Don't worry about friends right now. Worry about you. I was like, see, that's like one of those little brother, big brother things where like you don't really say apologies. You kind of just like start playing the game again and like or going and playing ball and like you just forget everything happened. And I like I can deal with that. Like it's not a full apology, but I can at least be cool with that for now. Because I at that point I kind of feel like Roman's never gonna actually say I'm sorry to Jay, and that's the closest thing we're getting to it. So I'm
Well,
fine with that. And I like how
and,
ever since he called Paul Heyman, when he was like, "You used to be a wise man, but you know what you are now? Just a dumbass." And he just keeps riding that because every time he talks to him, he makes sure he calls him a dumbass. So I'm into it.
I think I'm I for as much as I like pick at it, like I'm fine with Roman not actually saying the words "I'm sorry." I'm saying from a like from a from a show standpoint, I just wish that like that you like. if
That
you're
they
gonna
were
have them
more
move,
creative with what they were doing
if
instead
you're
of being
gonna
so
have
bland
them
and generic.
move forward that way, then like have it feel like you like had some like thought, or like show something about like oh here's here's them like actually being cool like again, or like
Well,
here's
that's why they
them
keep
like
doing and
showing.
Roman's out here yeeting and shit. They're trying to show it. They're just not knocking it out the park. I'll say that. And I don't necessarily need them to knock everything out the park. I'm cool with that level of it. But I do get where you stand in saying that you wish it was more of a taking. They showed more care in the approach of how they do it. The one thing that I
If it
will
was
say about the Jay thing is I found it really awkward that like he never like actually looked him in the face. He was like looking away, like toward the camera, but away from the camera. But his back was to Jay the whole time they were having the conversation. Like, it's like, but it gives me
yeah.
the idea that it's hard for him to swallow his pride to even give that acknowledgement to somebody else, but he still did it. So there's levels to look at it, and I probably just looked at it in different ways because of the way my brain works, and it works more for me because of those levels that I look at it in. Where what you're looking for out of the show, they're just not providing that. So
No.
that's me. Yeah, that's just me on it. I'm thinking all deep about things that probably don't, and that's me always over analyzing stuff. So I'm finding things in little situations that I'm finding enjoyment in, that I can see why other people do not find enjoyment in those things. I'm happy that they involved him again, where Bronson and Braun were coming out for the Braun Breaker LA Knight match, and Roman Reigns catches him laughing like out of nowhere. Like that was a simple but solid moment. He just comes out of nowhere, and then LA Knight comes out of nowhere and starts beating Braun's ass all the way out to the ring. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm fucking with it. LA Knight heel turn coming, right? Like eventually down the line. I think that's why the red glasses are out here, because he normally wears black lenses, and now he's wearing these red lenses a lot, and I'm like, ooh, heel turn coming, please.
I think I think the best thing for LA Knight right now is to spin out of this fatal four-way match, is for the next step for him to have an actual like one-on-one feud with Punk. That that is something, that is a him entering a feud with one of the absolute like top stars in the entire company, like of all the people that the fans and the audience care about the most. Punk is in the top, is always in the top two or three. And so if uh if LA Knight has the opportunity to attach himself for a while to CM Punk, that gives him the best opportunity to like really solidify him taking that like next step into the like true like main event, like championship caliber star that people have been begging for him to get to for the last couple of
And
years.
I feel like that's a feud that doesn't hurt him if he loses that feud. Losing to CM Punk does
No.
not hurt him. But like I feel like almost everybody he's involved with right now, like he's kind of had his Seth feud already. He's kind of had his CM Punk feud. We saw Roman on SmackDown. I feel like he is gonna, if Jay is going down this like darker me path, I can see that being another feud also. That's a feud I think LA Knight needs to win if it happens. Like Jay beating LA Knight, and I'm gonna be mind fucking blown, honestly. I think we've mentioned before, not on this show, but me and you just talking, that Roman and CM Punk has to happen at some point, and we have 8 months or so till WrestleMania, which we think is going to be the Seth Rollins Roman Reigns, and it's enough time to squeeze that in.
I hope
It's enough time to squeeze a Roman CM Punk feud in there if they're going to do it. But then we also know that like Survivor Series normally happens and he's gone for a while, so
yeah,
I don't know how we make that happen, but I'd like to see it. But I'd like to move on
at
from
some
Roman.
point, yeah.
I'd like to move on from Roman right now and move on to the rest of the show, so we don't delve too long. But disappointing moment. Dom and AJ get announced for what, Monday? Are we serious, WWE? You ain't even try to push this to Palooza like you were doing everything else. Like, you're gonna put this on a Monday? I don't even got much else to say other than that.
I I understand their overall strategy of looking at um their like PLEs as like entire like PLE weekends of being like, oh, like we like have to make the SmackDown worth it in some way, and the Raw after it like along with the PLE. But you're making the PLEs worse,
But these are little
especially
PLEs.
this
These
show.
are not big events. Like,
This Clash in Paris card, I don't mean to jump too far ahead, is not good enough. I'm so sorry.
well, they sacrificed it for Palooza. That's what
Yeah.
they're doing at this point because they made the move and once they got that okay to get ESPN to take over before January, they just decided that they're going to sacrifice Clash. Honestly, like that's why Stephanie Vaquera is no longer on the card, even though you could just give her a match, like,
Yeah.
and then pushing it off. So, well, that's all I got on Dom AJ. Really, anything else? Because I'll move right on, honestly. So,
That's it.
brief talk here. Io, Rhea, I said it to you in text. I am not digging the cringy, flirty vibes between them, honestly. Like, it was cool when they were just like, I'm here for you, buddy. You're here for me, buddy. We might tag later, but their vibe is more cringe than the Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss vibe right now. And they're kind of cringe. Yeah, for me it is. Like they're purposely making they're purposely making Charlotte and Alexa cringe, and that's why I'm not bothered by it because it's meant to be cringe. The Io Rhea stuff feels like they're trying to give you some weird storyline that's just coming off as cringe. And I'm like, I don't like it. They're like when Rhea's all sitting here touching her face all flirty and stuff, and Io's giving her the googly eyes and stuff. And then you got Asuka coming out here being all they not like us about Rhea Ripley and shit like that. I'm just like,
I think
I'm messing this up for me.
I think that plays exactly into who Rhea Ripley as a character is. I feel like they haven't done anything that's out of character or weird for Rhea.
I'm not really digging it. Like the way it's going in the last like 2 weeks, I'm not really digging it. I feel like it's some weird ass like relationship, like a not just like a friend thing, and Asuka's butting in and she's like totally being a thorn in their love triangle type thing. And she's all like, well, you can't because it's me and Kyrie and you, and she's not one of us. She didn't come up like us. And I'm like, just have Asuka turn. Like, just do it. Just get it over with, bro. Like, have her turn. Let them fight since we're not obviously getting Io and Stephanie right away. So just do it.
Yeah.
Just pull the trigger and get all this awkwardness out of here, bro. And then make Io and Rhea a tag team so they can go do something cool. Because other than that, if they're not going for the World Heavyweight title, it's the only other cool thing for them to do.
The only thing that I will say is that I clearly feel differently. I am still enjoying this right now, but also if it goes on too long, I'm not gonna like it anymore. I was really loving the beginning of the Liv and Rhea story, and then it kept going, and it got really silly, and you kept doing the same thing for 3 straight months, and then I hated it. I really don't want it to get to that point. So I like where it is right now, but I know that we're about to be going into these fall and winter months when WWE doesn't like to try all that hard until the Royal Rumble. So please show me where the off ramp, or at least where the next step is.
And maybe that's why I feel that way, is because like I smell it in the wind that they're gonna drag this, because Io and Rhea have been kind of kissing each other's ass and, oh, you're so good and I haven't beat you, and you're so good but you haven't beaten me, and they've been doing this for like 6 months, bro, already. Like they were doing this during the Bianca feud, like, and they just been continuing this since then. So I'm just kind of like, make it move or just do something else. But anything else, because I'm ready.
Some different music. You know that clip? He banged. That's one of my favorite. Do something else. Do some different music.
Yeah, I'm ready for something else between them, because I don't see much going on. And are they gonna just keep dragging? Because like that's what I'm saying. Like the Io Stephanie thing, like, are they gonna keep teasing that too? Because like if they're teasing that, what are you really doing with Io and Rhea? Like, what are you really doing with Io and Rhea if Io's in this Stephanie thing at all? Like, what? I don't know. So
I
Is
don't know.
EO possibly going to be double champ, tag champ, and world heavyweight champ at some point? Maybe. I'll be cool with that. But like, let's get it rolling. But then we get the end of the night where we go back to the Bronson, the Braun Breaker and the LA Knight and the CM Punk and the Jey Uso. And I don't even want to talk about the match because the match was a match and it was solid. It's the ending that I really want to talk about with the eruption between the baby faces and Jey Uso just saying, you know what, Roman was right, and kicking everybody in their effing face. So I enjoyed that. This was one of those things that was kind of much needed for a Jey Uso to have that not so goody thing going on. Because they tried to do it with the Gunther feud. Ooh, I gotta get you, Oos. I gotta get you. And we all kind of looked at it like, okay, cool. Like, yeah. Just for him to win the title and then like 3 weeks later get yoked up himself and lose the title right back like he did with the IC championship. But this felt more convincing of Jey Uso really just being fed the hell up. So I'm on board with that. There's not really much to dive into, but I would like to hear how you feel about this situation between these guys.
As I said before, I have liked the interactions so far between Punk and LA Knight. I think them closing every week with this in the main event has been quite unfortunate. With them literally having the same ending to the show for the past month now. I saw that there hasn't been a like a clean finish to the main event of Raw since like the middle of July.
And I somewhat get it because, it's almost always something involving the vision. And so I do understand why they are always in some messy situation at the end of the night. But yeah, I would like some more just plain finishes or exciting endings that aren't DQs and stuff like that. Or big just mayhem fights.
Or just like if it's important for you to have those segments, then like can you put it in a different spot and let something else main event? Like if there's a like Rhea match on the card, then like the Rhea match can main event just so that it's not Seth and the Vision standing tall a month in a row.
I feel like the Judgment Day we're in this
show.
cycle also a while ago, like before they started getting lame when Rhea and Damian were still there. No, when Rhea and Damian were still there, they were doing the same thing. But I will say this:
same thing.
The Judgment Day did it better. Like, the Judgment Day was doing it way better than what these guys are right now. It's just they got the bigger names involved in this storyline, so it is exciting when you start seeing like Roman Reigns pop out and all this stuff, and they're all clashing. But the Judgment Day was more fun to watch doing this kind of stuff. But
it was fun the first 2 times. Roman, never mind. Don't even do that.
But yeah. So I do
Roman,
agree.
Thanks for joining us at 10:32.
10:32, yeah. With 45 seconds left.
I'm happy you're here for 37 seconds, Roman. Thanks for showing up.
Hey, I got things to do. I'm a busy guy, man. I'm shooting Street Fighter. But whatever.
Oh, sorry, Paul. I couldn't help you all summer because I had to raise my kids. I'm the only wrestler on the show that has kids, I guess.
Hey,
anyway, let's
to SmackDown.
Keep going.
Logan Paul and Cena opening up SmackDown today. John Cena was being John Cena. I won't lie. Like, his promo was good. Logan didn't really have much, but Logan, I feel, survived. He didn't get buried. John has kind of been digging into Logan. I'm not gonna lie, like pretty nicely too. But Logan is, like I said, swimming. I texted you. I didn't spoil it for you, I hope. But I found it so nice when he hopped out the ring because I'm like, no way he's doing this. Because I instantly, when he said, oh, sometimes you have bad days and, the people who stand by you, you just got to apologize for having a bad day. And I'm like, I know this dude is not about to. And then he started walking out there. He said, where's my boy? And I'm like, no way he's got the Belgium kid. And then he starts walking back there and I'm like, I'm at work watching this too. I'm at work loud as hell in my office. Like, he's pulling out the Belgium kid again. And he does. And I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it for that 2 seconds. I enjoyed him scathing Logan. Sucks. I'm gonna give my prediction early on this. He's losing that clash. Like, sorry. But it was a nice opening. And then the moment that I wanted to point out that the other crowd reaction that I caught my attention is when he was like, Logan, we wanna like you. And the crowd is just like, I don't know about that, Jonathan. Like, I don't know if that's how we're feeling. You're speaking for us and you shouldn't be right now. So that was a funny moment for me when the crowd is kind of like, John, you know we love you, but nah.
Yeah.
But you go ahead.
And he has always, for better or worse, been knocked for being too much of a company man. And it's clearly important to the WWE that Logan is important, and John got the directive, and that's.
But we can't act like Logan is not good at his job. Like, I feel like Logan is stellar at his job, and like, if you hate him that much, he's being a good heel. Kind of like Dom. They booed him out the arena for a year or two, and it means he's being a good heel because he gets those kind of reactions out of the crowd. I know Logan's comes from other things like being a tool in real life, but
I think those are two completely different situations. I'm not gonna lie.
Not really. Like,
no, because people boo Dom because of the character that Dom is playing. They
and like I just said, Logan gets booed because people just don't like Logan Paul.
Because of the person that he is. So that's not him being a heel. That's them not liking that he's there.
Yes,
at
all. but he does good heel work. That's what I'm saying. And he puts on good shows in the ring. If you're gonna sit there and say Logan does not perform well, you're kind of lying at that point, bro. Like
I think he's fine. Like, I think that I obviously think that he like performs well in the ring for what he is, and his promos are, I think, good to fine for the most part. I have my own personal struggle with me seeing the final clock on my favorite superstar of all time, winding down to his last couple notches, and he's using his time building a one-on-one match with a celebrity. I don't care that he's on a full-time WWE contract. He's a celebrity wrestler. I would feel that way. Whether
so you put him in the same category as Bad Bunny at this point?
Yes.
I don't, but that's for you. So.
So, I mean, I think John's promos have been good, but I don't like. I think most, if not all, of John's promos are good. So, like, I don't know. I'm trying to appreciate this as much as I can because it's all that I have left with John, and this is what they're choosing to give me. So I'm trying to appreciate it in that way. But as far as the actual story with Logan, I would say my perspective is pretty dated overall.
The reason why I am bummed about it is because it's not like they just wasted one time on Logan. This is the second interaction with Logan because he was in the tag match and now they're doing the singles match with him. So 2 of John's, maybe like 3 or 4 of his appearances have been used on Logan Paul. Actually, like 6 of them have been used on Logan Paul.
I was gonna say, that's actually, I'm so glad that you said that. That's the other thing that's been really killing me about this. So he has been interacting with Logan all year. He was in the final 3 at the Rumble with Logan. He was in the Elimination Chamber with Logan. He had the tag match at Money in the Bank with Logan. And now when he has 12 dates left, he has to go into a singles feud with Logan.
Well, the obvious thing here is like they're using some of John Cena's time and a good chunk of it on solidifying Logan as a wrestler, since they see everybody trying to gatekeep him from being seen as a wrestler.
And you can do that with anybody else. John has
not really.
You can do that. He can't
Not
do that with
really. Not
anybody
really.
else.
He's been in matches with a lot of good big people, and he's still being gatekept. So
And what does that
they're
say about him
trying
then?
they're trying to use their biggest get over card on Logan Paul right now, which
So
I
he couldn't get over
understand.
with Roman.
I
So
un-
he couldn't get over with Roman. He couldn't get over with Seth. He couldn't
so
get
you
over with
saying John
AJ.
Cena? You're gonna sit here and act like John Cena's not like the best opportunity to get somebody over that the WWE has? Even
Of course he is.
so, exactly.
But
This is
I.
why they're using it. It's because they're
But
like,
that
this
doesn't
is
mean that I have to like it.
all right, but you're denying like actual things just because you are just a John Cena fan and are upset about it. So I get the John Cena fan, but you also have to just deal with it in the objective matter that that's the reason why they're doing this. And I'm not necessarily a big fan of it. I'm not super happy about it, but I'm not a super big John Cena fan to the point that it would bother me that they're using all their opportunities. I would like to see other things, but I understand why it's happening this way. So they're just trying to get Logan accepted, and it's not gonna work, obviously. Like, so they're just wasting opportunities because nobody's gonna like look at him like a wrestler. Like you just said, you put him in the same box as Bad Bunny, and Bad Bunny has wrestled twice in the last 2 years, and he's never around. So that's a crazy take to talk about a guy who hasn't even really done nothing cool, and Logan's always out there doing something cool in the ring, and he's in the same category as Bad Bunny because you just don't like the guy. You're knocking his actual talent because you just don't like the guy.
It has nothing to do with his talent.
But that's what I'm saying. You're knocking his talent because you just don't like the guy. It's not like you're acting like you don't have it, but you're like minimizing it to the level of Bad Bunny because you don't like the guy. So I get it, but I think it's a little unfair with the performances he's been putting on. Like he got people talking about fucking Jelly Roll, bro. Like what the fuck? Like what? So that's how that goes. Like sucks that they're wasting all these opportunities on him, but I see what they're trying to do with it is just not gonna work the way they think it is. I kind of want to move on from Logan and John because I don't think there's anything else. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, that the last thing I want to say is this part of the Logan John saga isn't even about Logan. It's about setting up Brock Lesnar at Palooza. So that's all they're really doing here is like, yeah, they're keeping the Logan thing involved, but it's more to set up Brock at Palooza because that's the only reason why Logan is winning at Clash is because Brock's going to interfere. So we have to tune in for the first ESPN PLE. So unfortunate for you, a John Cena fan, that your opportunities are being wasted. But hopefully they use the next 8 appearances well. Because what are we doing? We got 8 left, and one of them about to be Clash in Paris. So like we're gonna have 7 more. Hopefully like they use the last 7 well, and hopefully they announce the tickets for December. Because maybe we look into the December Saturday night main event. Maybe we look into that if it's possible.
Do you want to take out a loan?
I know that shit's gonna be crazy, right? Yeah, I know. Maybe we get lucky, you tick pick or some shit like that. One of those commercial sites. The next thing I want to talk about is the Street Profits, real quick. Not too deep. This does go back to us talking about Montez earlier and how I said I wanted to bring him up. But the first thing I'll say is somebody pointed it out to me. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie New Jack City to the point you've seen it or anything like that.
Come on now. Oh, yeah.
Hey, I just have to make sure. Well, apparently on Montez's IG, I don't follow him on IG, but somebody on TikTok pointed it out that he is very, very much teasing the breakup himself on his IG with these mirror reflection conversations he's having and very much giving off Nino Brown vibes. So with Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, right? That's his name, Bo Dallas. He came out and he said some things to the Street Profits that have also just sprinkled that out there now in the public, where it's not just Montez's Ford's IG. And I can see that really coming to fruition now that they're in Clash in Paris also, fighting the Wyatt Six for the titles. Because what happens if they lose this match? He's gonna start looking really hard at things. And a Montez Ford turn on Angelo, I'm fine with that. What is Angelo gonna do after the Street Profits? But I'm all for Montez going on his own. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of for it. So let's do it. Because honestly, man, they tried the heel turn with Montez and Angelo with Bobby Lashley, and that just did not work. Bro.
Yeah, and people didn't want to boo him.
Yeah, miserably. Like their heel turn might have been worse than Cena's heel turn in the case of like the fans liking him, because Cena's Cena.
It's just not working.
Yeah, Cena's Cena. I don't even think Don's heel turn didn't not work to me. It's just there was just so limited time, and then they decided to turn him face. So, but like the Street Profits junk just did not work at all. Like, so there you go. You can go ahead.
I have been in the let Montez go solo camp for a while now. I would be thrilled if it did happen. I want to say that I was intrigued about the tease, but WWE has also had a lot of situations where they have teased things for a long time and it not happen. So I'm at the point now with the Montez conversation. I don't really want to think about it unless it actually does happen one day.
I think it's happening like soon.
I would be very happy if it did happen, but I would. If I'm being optimistic, I would like to say, oh, they added this Street Profits match to a PLE for a reason, but
he fumbles a line for me today. When he was talking about Carmelo and The Miz, and he goes, he is not him, and The Miz is all. He said all talk. And I'm like, dog, you literally fumbled an opportunity to say awful.
I thought it was awful. Yeah.
Yeah, you just fumbled an opportunity to say awful. Like, you could have just said that. But, yeah, so I'm all here for the Montez turn. I don't think it's going to be an instant thing after Clash in Paris, but it definitely will be like within the next 2 to 3 months, I feel like, after that. Unless they're going to do us like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, which I pray they don't. Next thing on the list, Kiana James gets the Giovanni Vinci treatment. I don't even need to talk more about that. That's just silly. Honestly, to me.
I was actually kind of interested in the match too, because I was like, wow, I haven't seen you wrestle in like a year.
I was interested, and then she just gets rolled up by Michin, and like, WWE, you ain't doing nothing cool with Michin either, so like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, that's tough.
Julia's about to whoop that ass. We already know. Like, so it's like, anyways.
Yeah, seriously.
Sami Zayn, you know already, I'm over Sami Zayn, bro. Like, not over, like, happy. I'm over, like, get him out of my face. U.S. title.
This doesn't make any sense. So the theme of this conversation has been my displeasure with the overall storytelling from this summer. I'm sure by this point you have heard it from many other places, and I'm sure you've had this thought yourself. But Sami Zayn as a character has been solely talking about becoming a world champion for how many months? To be kind, months, but really years now. Seth Rollins.
Can we not? Because I don't even want to talk about that part of it, because that part really pisses me off. Remember, I said he should have just went. Like, he should have just took the opportunity to go to SmackDown. Mr. Self-Righteous Dandy Do-Right over there.
Seth offered him a world championship match to his face, and he said no because he wanted to be prideful and whatever and stand up to the man, just for him to go over to SmackDown to not,
like 2 months later,
to not fight the world champion. So again, this specifically isn't Sami Zayn's fault, but it doesn't make me feel good about Sami Zayn the character. And while I've been fine with him generally, this just kind of adds to another big match that I didn't necessarily want him to win.
Sami Zayn just gets a lot of favoritism from the WWE, and I'm not enjoying it anymore. He's everywhere. He's never not around, and I'm just over it, bro. Like, he's always involved. He's one of those guys who always has the storyline going on. I'm just tired of it. Like, let him go away for 7 months or something like that. Bring him back later. Like, I'm just tired of Sami Zayn and his self-righteous dandy do-right mentality. It's just boring. Just boring. Like, never mind the bad use of storytelling. He's just boring me at this point. I don't got nothing else to say. All right.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm there.
Let's well, as we know, Clash added these guys, the tag titles, to the card. Let's run through our Clash predictions real quick. We'll go match by match. I don't really need to dive into what I think is going to happen. We'll start off with the least impressive thing going on. Rusev and Sheamus. I don't think anybody cares what the outcome is. I'm going with Sheamus.
These matches have gotten me to like stop paying attention during Monday Night Raw. So I don't feel better about it because you put it on a PLE. I do not care about this match at all. I like Sheamus a lot. I'm sorry, it's not your fault.
It might even be a good match, but I don't care.
Rusev better win because it makes even less sense if Sheamus wins because you're trying to get Rusev over as a character, which clearly people don't care about. But Rusev.
Oh, yo, this made me think because you said that, and I was like, so if Rusev doesn't win, yeah, this feud probably continues, right? But it made me think that
no, it can't.
Jelly Roll has not been back. Have we escaped Jelly Roll and he's not coming back? Maybe that'll be way in the future. Because remember, we thought he was going to continue this feud with Logan Paul, and Logan's in the John feud right now. No Jelly Roll in sight, and I'm happy about that. Thank you for giving us a break right there because I didn't need more Jelly Roll. So you got Rusev, I got Sheamus.
I didn't need the first part of Jelly Roll, but
me neither. But hey, it made for a good ass spot at SummerSlam. I'll tell you that much. But other than that,
yeah.
Tag team match: Wyatt 6 and Street Profits. I got Wyatt 6.
Wyatt 6.
Just to trigger the breakup, the line of destruction for that. What else is up here? Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella. There is no way I can see Nikki Bella being our IC title champion. So Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch, and I think Becky is my favorite story in the WWE right now. So shout out to her.
She's my favorite champion in the WWE at the moment for sure. And I love Becky anyway. So, but Becky. Roman Reigns, Bronson Reed. This can go either way, and it works out either way for me. I feel like Bronson needs it more, but I can see. But then, like, Roman doesn't get his shoes back, so like I feel like Roman got to get his shoes back. Cause then, like, if you just punk Roman Reigns like that, it kind of hurts the image of Roman Reigns that he got punked. But like Bronson Reed looks like that much more of a force, and the vision looks that much more serious if Bronson Reed wins. So I'm in a conundrum on who I want, but I'm gonna go to just say Roman just because it's fucking Roman.
Oh. This would actually make Bronson look really impressive if he won this. But I feel like we just had this conversation a month ago about SummerSlam, about how much we wanted Braun and Bronson to win that match, and then Roman won. So right here, I'm gonna say,
and I think they open.
I think it would make Bronson look great, but Roman Reigns is going to win.
I think Roman's opening another show. I think he opens Clash in Paris.
Yeah, probably.
All right, cool. The quad match, Seth Rollins obviously wins, right? There's no, like, the vision is basically not a serious group if Seth Rollins loses that title this time. So I'm with Seth, and I'm assuming your means you're agreeing.
Yeah.
John Cena, Logan Paul. I already gave my answer. Logan Paul via Brock Lesnar interference, so we can set up Palooza. Unfortunately, but that is my outcome. There you go. Floor is yours.
I think you're right, but I can't in my heart. So I'm gonna say Cena wins it, and that Brock comes out after the match instead of during the match.
Hey, I'm cool.
But Brock is that. But Brock is almost certainly showing up for sure.
Yeah. So I'm cool with that. That's fine. There goes our predictions for Clash. F you guys for not having Mr. Clash on the card, especially when you had a Randy Orton Drew McIntyre feud sitting right there in your lap that you literally triggered off last week for zero reason, basically. Just you could throw it on Palooza, right? And then you just didn't do AJ Styles Dom at Clash also. Like, two people who would have got the biggest crowd reactions at Paris, and you guys just said nah. But okay. But hey guys, that's episode 7. We did some talking. I hope you guys are as intrigued in some of these topics as we were. And I hope you guys leave your thoughts about some of this stuff and what you guys think is going to happen at Clash in Paris, and maybe some of your predictions on what happens post Clash in Paris. Eric, anything you want to say to these wonderful viewers that we may get throughout this week?
Um, Thank you for joining us. We have 9 dates left with the Never Seen 17, greatest of all time. Appreciate him while you can. See y'all next time.
And this has been episode 7 of NEO Wrestling. Like we said earlier, like, comment, share your thoughts. We're looking forward to hearing them if you want to share them. That's what we want to do here. We want to talk about wrestling with you guys. And on that note, we'll see you on the next episode, guys.